Hello, you are listening to Shower Gamer. Today we're taking a look at Star Wars Battlefront. All this footage is from the beta that was released a week or so ago. We're picking our cards here for our first drop. This isn't my first drop in the game, but it's what I've got recorded. This mode is Drop Zone, which is a smaller 8v8 game mode where you're playing over drop ships. Here we see the beginning cinematics. They're beautiful. The game in general is gorgeous, and the sound, as you hear the blaster fire there, is also fantastic. Everything's top notch. So I kind of let that running clip go, and now we go in with our pre-selected game cards, which is kind of how you customize your character. I've got a nice little handheld blaster here, which I found to be pretty good for me. Still a little unsure about it, but it was working well earlier. In this match, you're going to see me dying a lot, which you'll see quite a bit on this channel. I'm not the best gamer here, as you'll quickly see here, missing shots, but you know, we do our best and we have fun doing it, and hopefully you'll enjoy seeing that. You're not going to see me kicking ass and taking names all the time on this channel. Here I pick up a drop card. Those come out of the drop pods. They're single-time consumables. I picked up a smart rocket, which work as anti-personnel, but not fantastic. They're meant for anti-vehicle. There are no vehicles in this game mode, so you do keep it after you respawn, which is kind of nice. You'll see me use it later to no effect. In general, the game is fantastic. I really wish I had been able to record my first game, or had thought to record it. That's something I'm still kind of getting used to here. I just activated a personal shield. I can't fire out, but I also can't take fire. Bit of a mistime there. Anyway, the game is just fantastic from an environmental standpoint. It's really everything is just polished. The sound, the graphics, the environment. You can see up above here there's a space battle flying overhead, and we don't have any way of controlling that, but it seems to be dynamic and not the same one every game. And you know, eventually you see that the Star Destroyer get destroyed, or the Calamarian Cruiser get destroyed, and it's really immersive to have that over just a skybox. So the whole game just feels great. In terms of the environment, from my perspective, it's a little twitchy. I'm hitting close to 30 here. My Twitch reflexes have never been great, but are not nearly as good as they were when I was in my teens. So I tend to go for slower paced games. I did jump into that pit on purpose to show you guys there is an environment to be aware of. This map has those mud pits that will slowly kill you if you don't jump out. So the game's a little twitchy for my tastes. I won't be picking it up right at launch. Nice back shot there. But I'll pick it up for a discount. It's fun enough, and I do like the environment. The first time I played it and saw Darth Vader, I just I screamed like a little boy. I mean, it was like, you know, super nerd out moment. So the environment just sounds great. All the sounds are authentic. The general feel is very good if you're into that kind of game. It's not quite as Twitch as a Call of Duty. There is a health bar. It does auto regen, as you saw there. So it's I think it's gonna be slow paced enough for most people. But not quite as slow-paced and methodical as, say, a World of Warships, So I think it strikes a pretty good balance there. I do lament a little bit that there's no reloading on the weapons. There's just a cooldown factor that's pretty easy to get around once you get used to it. You can score headshots. I don't know if other body parts score different rankings, but it would be nice to have a reload in there. You know, in the movies they don't show reloading, but I know in the extended lore there's battery packs for the blasters, and there's no worries about that here. But the blasters do feel good. The sounds are great. And the blasters feel different enough. There I was shot by an E11 to the Imperial blaster. Pretty close to tied with the handheld blaster for my favorite. I had some very good games with it. You can see my cards down there. I just threw a thermal detonator and it's on a recharge timer. You can't see me pointing at the screen, but I just did. On the right is my sniper rifle. It's a single shot rifle. It does have a projectile that's physical travel, and it'll shoot limited through shields. The one in the middle there is my personal shield, and that is based off of in-game charges that you can either pay for, one of their ways of monetization. You just saw me shoot off my rocket and hit no one with it, but I have been killed by it, so it's possible. You'll find little lightning bolts on the ground, so you can charge them up in-game for free, or you can pay for charges. In the beta, at least, the charges on the ground were pretty plentiful, so that wasn't an issue. I don't think that's going to be really, you know, grinding out for money there, if it holds true to the beta statistics. Here, I just activated my personal shield, just to give me time to let my health recharge. All of the weapons have scopes on them. That's not an attachment, that just comes naturally like that, and all of the weapons had a scope. Right as I'm starting to get into my groove, bam! Thermal detonator to the face. You can see there's no time limit on the respawns. Or timer on the respawns. You just respawn and go. One thing I will say about the blaster, it is very fast firing. You hold down the button on all the weapons and they fire at their max rate. It took me a couple rounds to figure out I wasn't just trying to click as fast as I could. So that works well, and you don't have to worry about wearing out your mouse button there. And we win that one, 5-0. I will say one of the problems I found in this game mode was that when people were losing, they tended to just drop out, and so you ended up with some really lopsided games. They will hopefully come across a mechanism to keep people from leaving so early. I have equipped, instead of my thermal detonator, I've equipped my jump pack. In this map, it helps you get around. I'm pretty bad at thinking three-dimensionally in my maneuvering, so I don't use it really effectively, but there are people out there that'll use it to great effect. But it's a lot of fun. You fly around like Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi, and who doesn't want that? I still keep my sniper rifle. It does a one-shot kill on a headshot or a 90% on a body shot, so it's quite effective. You pop them with that and then finish them off with your blaster real quick if you don't get the outright kill. And in the beta, it had a 7-second reload. So you see it used quite a bit, and if it continues in that manner in the official game, it'll be well worth it. You do have to unlock the weapons and the cards. You start out with no cards and the default blaster for whichever side you're on. The Rebels get the A280 blaster rifle, the Imperials get the E11, and then you have to unlock card spots and then purchase your weapons with credits you earn in-game. The performance in the match then gets converted to a in-game currency that you can buy. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio. I think I have a clip later of the conversion. It seems to be like about a quarter of the credits turn into, or a quarter of the credits that you get at the end of the game turn into credits that you can buy items and cards with. So there are more cards. There are a couple other blasters. The machine gun blaster, that's quite fun. I did not get to unlock it. Was the most expensive, and my gaming time is pretty limited, particularly on the weekends, so I didn't get to unlock that. But in the co-op missions that I don't have any footage of, you get to pick whatever weapon you want. The co-op missions were pretty fun. They were a wave defense. In this version, there's only one map. You could only have 2 players. I think that'll stay going forward. But then you only get a maximum of 5 waves. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good way to earn credits to buy cards so that you were a little bit more multiplayer competitive. And I do always appreciate co-op. It's a little bit more, mindless when you get to just blow down some AI, a couple ATST chicken walkers. There, that was your little +1 charge. You'll notice my personal shield charge went up by 1. And those are scattered throughout the game. So the wave survival is the mode I'm looking forward to playing more of. I think that'll be quite fun and just kind of mindless when the multiplayer's getting you down if you have some bad matches or get stacked up against some stacked teams. I think that'll be a fun way to play. Just to get a little more gameplay experience. This version here, Drop Zone, was quite fun. Not quite as chaotic, I hesitate to say that, as the large multiplayer battle, because it was only 8 players. The maps are smaller and you're defending points. You can generally figure out where people are going to come from. In the large multiplayer assault versions, there was a lot of spawn camping. You get a couple people behind your lines and then it can be pretty hard to get them killed. There is your quick cooldown for when your weapon overheats. If you get good at that quick time event there, you can fire pretty continuously. It pretty well negates the effect of overheating your weapon. I feel there should probably be a bigger penalty for overheating for people who get really good at that quick button event. As you can see, the personal shield negates all energy weapon fire, but it looks cool. So if you get good at that, the cooldown trigger, and that'll come into play a lot in the game, you can fire pretty continuously, and that's why I wish ammo was a factor still. Just to give you a little extra decision making on when to shoot and when to not. Jump packs. Especially in this map, there's a lot of hills and valley to go over. They help a lot. You just saw an orbital bombardment there. To capture the drop pods there, you have to walk up to them and press E. Press and hold E, and then defend for a period of time. And you can get some really intense, really nice firefights around the drop pods. But you can see, I mean, here we're still winning 4-0, and I definitely got on teams where you're losing 4-0 and people kept dropping out. So you see after 5, we win, and I end up second on the team. It's pretty good for me. Even kill death, not great, but I like it. We're going to keep this one a little bit shorter. I would like to see how the numbers turn out, keeping these to about 15 minutes, and we'll release another episode looking at Star Wars Battlefront this next week. Here you see the credits add up. Looks like it ended up being 10 to 1, not 4 to 1 as I had said previously. So for now, keep it fresh, and we will catch you later.